I'm pretty sure the only times I did it was like twice, and I never did it again.
And they said it was a bug, so if it's a bug, why didn't you fix it?
Yeah, so
unless
obviously
they
I don't know.
Unless they're still trying to do an update for the game that might fix that, but who knows?
I'm not a game developer, but surely that should not take like months, though, right? Or
just like how New Game Plus
well, wait, didn't you guys say Insomniac are on fucking vacation or some
that
shit?
should be fixed.
Well, we don't really know if they're on vacation.
Yeah, true.
Because how does, like, I'll bring this up as an example, I know they're different games, but how does a company like Epic, how do they pump out updates faster than Insomniac?
That's what I'm saying! How does
when that's literally two different games?
What?
No, I'm gonna go this far. How does fucking, like, Santa Monica Studio pump out more than, like, fucking Insomniac?
Exactly.
Because I feel like Insomniac, again, I know what they were trying to do, but don't bite off more than you can chew, like, don't.
Like, literally their ambitions, like, I'm sorry, their ambitions, like, is what got the best of them.
Yeah, like I really think they just become, like, lazy and cocky. Like, I don't understand those.
Because they're like, you loved our first Spider-Man game,
like,
and you pretty much loved Miles, well, here you go, here's more.
Like, I'm sorry, but, like, I'm still, like, yeah, you know what, your game is fine, but, like, overall, I think everything else you've done with it, though, it's like, you're not really trying to make it the best it can be, though.
And I'm sorry, but I still think the first game and Miles is a way better story than the second game. Like, every time when people talk about it, they'll always say, like, hey, you're just looking at it way too much. Like, the story's okay and the gameplay's okay, but, like, no matter how many times you play through the story, you just keep seeing the issues that went along with what happened, and it just irritates me. Like, how is the first half and the middle half good? Well, kind of the middle half, and then as soon as you get towards the end, you start seeing like all the stuff, you know, all the bad things. Like, it doesn't make sense.
It's because like the story isn't equal to the sum of its parts. Basically.
Like, Sony really rushed them, and the fact that Insomniac didn't even want to make a story like this, they wanted the story to be lighter and darker, but Sony rushed them because they reached that limit. They just had to freaking release
You know it's bad when Brian and Tar, like a week after the game came out, said it wasn't up to Insomniac standards.
Yeah, it wasn't up to their standards. They didn't like what they were doing because Sony rushed them.
Damn!
Yeah, but like, even if they rushed them, though, I feel like, yeah, it's their ambitions, like, the ambitions
is a big part of it.
Downfall, yeah.
Like I don't understand why Sony always wants something to be on like the release date is supposed to be. Like, dude.
Well, they always want a big game in time for Christmas. They always want.
Like, dude, we don't mind waiting. We can wait. Like, just have them come.
But you also gotta factor in that even though we might be able to wait, the problem is the majority of people can't wait.
Yeah,
that's their fault. I don't care about those people.
But you gotta factor in
but you
gotta think about other people besides yourself.
Yeah, that is what.
Look at people that
I
just
know, you're just a selfish asshole.
I'm not throwing you under the bus, Dylan, but you're like one of those people that really wanted the game, like really wanted it.
Yeah, you were one of those people, Dylan.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, I know the game is fine for like, I'm not trying to start anything, like you can enjoy the game as much as you want, like as you have been, but we all feel like the game could have been better. Like,
yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you guys, like, there could have been
it's not the worst sequel ever, but it could have definitely been handled better. Like...
Look, I'm not disagreeing with you guys, but I think, you know, it's just wanted the game so bad because, let's see, they went for a whole fucking year without saying a goddamn thing, without giving us any fucking news information. That kind of grind my fucking gears.
But you also gotta remember that games take time.
I know, but they could have at least give us some fucking bones. I mean, shit.
I mean, that's the thing that I've been noticing about them ever since this game came out, is they're just quiet now. But before this game came out,
that's another issue
they
too.
used to talk a lot. Yeah, like they used to talk a lot before this game was out, and now they're just quiet.
Yeah, because I'll just be honest, their communication now sucks.
It's really terrible. Yes.
Well, maybe they're still trying to work out some stuff, and then maybe. Plus, also think about it.
Like, you gotta think about it though too. Like, literally with the first game in Miles. Even with Miles, which was under Sony, like, they were still communicative.
Good communication,
yeah.
But also, we gotta keep in mind, there's also gotta figure out what suits to give to both Peter and Miles in the DLC. Especially that, well, for Miles, he doesn't have...
But it shouldn't take him that long to come up with suits, because there's so many out there.
Well, that's the
true.
problem though for Peter, not for Miles, because again, Miles has only been out since 2011. He hasn't been out longer compared to Peter.
They can just make more either variant cover suits or in some.
They could just make original suits, yeah, for Miles,
Yeah.
but for Peter, yeah. I think what people are most disappointed about is like, yeah, there not being enough like suits for him, like symbiote suits, which is one of my
Also
biggest problems.
comic ones.
Yeah,
Well,
And
for
cartoons.
Miles,
even
I think,
animated ones.
I think for Miles, he has the right amount of fucking symbiote suits because he's only worn technically those three we have seen so
Yeah,
far.
that's-
Well, we're talking about for
That's the-
Peter though, not Miles.
Well,
Yeah, and
well,
doing what you said, that's the issue though, like, cause yeah, for Miles they they can do enough for him, but like for Peter, apparently they can't do it.
Even
well,
though
and
Peter's
the-
been around
the
longer.
the thing that doesn't make sense to
Yeah.
me is like I kind of agree with what you guys are saying. Like I wouldn't mind having more symbiote suits, but why can't you also give us the suits that we've been wanting, like freaking Spectacular and all these other suits? Why is it taking you this long to drop
Well,
that?
Or even
Gamer.
Unlimited.
Gamer,
Yeah,
with
limited, yeah,
Spectacular, they have to
limited.
talk to Sony themselves because I thought Disney
But
only
that-
writes the Spectacular.
That shouldn't be a
Well,
problem
wait.
because literally Insomniac's owned by Sony.
They're working with them, so they could like legit like cut a deal or something.
They could literally just do it on the style of like Spider-Verse if they really wanted to.
Exactly.
Because the problem with Insomniac right now is they think they're putting in the right suits that we want, but they're not. That's
You're
the
not.
problem.
Like, like an example is like for one of the variants for the classic suit. Why the frick is it yellow and white?
That's not what the classic suit. That's the advanced suit 2.0.
Yeah, advanced suit. Sorry, advanced suit. Like, why is it
Yeah.
yellow and white? What the frick? That's nasty.
Because Insomniac has this problem that I've noticed lately with Spider-Man 2 where they think everything that they do is perfect, is great when they
Yeah,
should
like nobody
start
likes some
listening
of
to
these
the...
colors. Like every time when I be seeing people's like Spider-Man pics and all that stuff, they don't be using any of these other suits. They mostly use like the suits that
Like,
look
look.
badass. Like,
Look, the Hellfire Gala, okay, they're honestly just whatever suits. Like
They're okay,
they're at
they're
least
not
from like
really
the
that
comic.
they're okay, but I don't use them.
Like they at least used like the comic suits, but I'm like, yeah, why not just do more of that?
Yeah, so just go from the
Or why
comic.
can't
Because
you
I
give
think
us,
the only
like...
comic suit they can give Miles is that vampire hunting one, that whatever storyline that Miles teams up with Blade and his daughter. Which, again, who the fuck did Blade fuck to have a child? Well, no,
Comic
that,
Con
Who was he
Circus
banging?
spot.
Who was he banging?
Yeah. But
because
yeah,
like
I'm just saying that like they should just go from there. Like yeah,
Because, like,
do
I'll
it
use
from,
this
like, the
as an
comics.
example. Like, I know you all don't play Destiny,
Oh,
but
damn!
part of the reason people go back to the new DLCs isn't just for, like, the story, it's also because Bungie adds in new gear, like
Yeah,
new
they keep
armor
adding
for
stuff
you.
that people aren't expecting, and those people actually like it. But if you go to freaking Insomniac and this other stuff, people will complain about little
you gotta
things
keep in
that
mind
they
though,
could
the
have done better.
replay value is like important, and if there's like stuff that like yeah doesn't encourage like replay value, then yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
because I hate, now that you
get
bring
the
that up,
fuck
I
back
just
down
hate
here.
to say it again, but I can't really
You stupid
replace
AI,
Spider-Man
I want
2
you
that
down.
much. I can
Dude,
get on
I
it,
haven't
like...
even been touching Marvel Spider-Man 2. I've been thinking
No,
about
but-
playing it, and I still haven't
No, but
played
what
it.
I was gonna say is I get on it for the same reasons that old Spidey does, just for like the combat and traversal, but I can't
Yeah.
replay anything
And
else.
You
it's
can't
not
really
just
get
that.
back into it with like yeah, just a
With the
story.
story
Yeah,
or the bases or anything, or even
Yeah,
like the
but
side
Ryan,
content.
like, I played a story, but I only played just to fight the bosses. But even with that, I get tired of that.
Yeah, but that's my problem with it, that if we can't go back to replay for some of the other stuff, like if we're only getting on it for traversal and combat, isn't that a problem?
wait,
That
don't
is
you
a-
guys
that's a
try
really
the
big
replay
problem.
mission thing and doing your favorite suits?
Well, But even when you do that,
Even-
it's
even
like you
with
can
that,
only
it's
do that a
boring.
couple times, like,
Yeah.
like eventually it loses its appeal, even if you're in like a
Yeah.
different suit.
Yeah,
Like
with
but-
Miles, it did have that too, but I don't think it's like not as much as like this game.
Not-
Like-
The
like
reason
when
it
you-
wasn't
like when you
noticeable
guys,
in Miles is
Yeah.
because his story is so quick. It's
Yeah.
short,
Like-
to the
Like
point.
when you guys replayed Miles and the first game, what was the reasons why you guys replayed that?
Well, I can say very easily for the first game because it had like more gadgets, like a gadget wheel, and it also had suit powers that added to the gameplay.
Yeah. And it
Yeah,
was fun.
so there's an issue there, like what you just described. Like yeah, they removed
Because
like
even though you're
Wait.
redoing the same missions, the first game is at least more replayable because of the gameplay and everything. Because of all the stuff that you get to do.
Damn!
This is like the issue though, right?
And
so
we don't
they
have
had
to
all
worry
these...
about a pairing in the first game. It's the pairing button. Like...
This is the issue though, right? So they had all these gadgets there in the first game, right?
Yep.
They could have chosen, like, to return them, right? But instead, they had to go with the streamline, which I'm not saying it's a problem, okay? I'm not saying it's a problem. All I'm saying is that, like, yeah, they very easily could have just chosen, like, the first game system and with the gadgets and applying them in here with the second game.
Plus what hurts even more is if you saw that leaked, like, gameplay of, like, remember where it showed, like, a destructible gun fight.
Yeah, yeah, like when they were fighting in the buildings and stuff. I hate.
But not just that. Bro. What I was going to talk about is if you look at that gameplay, basically it had all the same stuff from the PS4 games there, like the UI and everything, and the gadgets.
Yeah, like I hate that how that was cut, bro. That really.
So I don't get why when it was literally going to look the same, and then they thought, oh, we'll change it and put it to this when it's not as good.
Which it's like, look, I'm not saying like you can't change some things. Because, like, obviously, like, from what we know, that gameplay, it was, like, literally in its alpha stage, yeah. Like, at least with the UI,
I don't care if
but,
some things are cut, but why was that cut? Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
What's crazy is
I hate what, like, Brian Intar said when he was, like, in the interview, and when they asked him about the MJ missions, and then he said stuff like, oh, the reason we did it like this is because she's just as important to the story as the other characters, when it's like, you can have her be important, but it doesn't mean give us more missions.
Yeah, because you're losing, like, the appeal of why people want to play, like, a Spider-Man video game.
Because then he says stuff like this, like, oh, you guys are just gonna like it because MJ's really
Like, I'm not saying, like, the MJ missions...
We're not gonna like it.
Like, I'm not saying that, like, yeah, the MJ missions in here are, like, awful or anything. All I'm saying is that, like, yeah, they should have just realized, like, what the focus was and just made MJ...
There was legit so many scenes in the game where, like, MJ didn't really need to be in the game at all.
Like the final level, for example?
And also the middle part of the game, they could have literally showed Peter going on that rampage, but it didn't mean we needed to play as her during that.
You wanna know what they could have done? They could have very easily had a mission where, yeah, it's required that you play as MJ, and they could have done some story building here. Like, at least with the first game, say whatever you want about the MJ missions in the first game.
Yeah, they could have done, like, that, like, screenshot, that scene that was cut from the game where she goes to the vehicle.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing.
Like that's important. They could have kept that.
That's a crazy thing. The first game, like, yeah, say whatever you want about the MJ missions, but they're at least, like, there for the story reasons.
God damn
even
it.
if she was annoyed, she was still important in that game.
And the last one is really important because you actually, when you're inside, like, Norman's office, that's where you find out about Harry being sick and everything.
Very true.
And it's also where you find out, yeah, how, you know, Lee was created.
But instead they thought, instead of doing something cool in this game, they were like, oh, we're gonna turn her into the MJ of Us, like Last of Us clone.
Like, I'm sorry, if you genuinely need fucking, like, need MJ just for the cool, like, action set pieces. Like, look, cool action set pieces are one thing, right? But there's a story component there. Like,
but if you needed to explain why MJ's there, that's a problem. If you need.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we don't care.
Come
why
on.
do you have to explain why she's there?
Like, she's literally just a plot device. That's all she is in this game. It doesn't feel like, yeah, she's like a character in the story.
I'm sorry, but when I was playing the game,
get the fuck in the cage, I can kick your ass.
I didn't mind an MJ mission where we were running from Peter. I was just shocked that we had like another one where we had to play as her and we had to freaking get that thing. Like we had to get the lock. I was surprised when we had to play as her or not, because why the frick do we have to play as her? That legit could have been like a cutscene, and no one would be complaining.
And then you find out they wanted to do it because they wanted to make like a Last of Us type.
Yeah, because what I've noticed is that, like, yeah, they put MJ missions, but like infused with like another character. Because, like, say with like at least for Peter or Harry, or basically Miles, Because there are missions where it's like, yeah, they have infused like the character's gameplay. Where you gotta go from like, you know, big badass like Spider-Man to like, yeah, just a random normal like civilian with like a fucking gun.